This is my 3D platforming obstacle course game that I made in the Unreal Engine using C++ programming. It's a challenging course that requires not only good platforming skills, but for the player to really analyze their environment and think about the safest way to get past the obstacles in front of them. It's sort of like a puzzle platformer. There are cubes that slide back and forth on the ground, pillars that rise up and down out of the ground, and circular platforms that spin around different speeds and in different directions. Not only did I make this short game to showcase some of my skills in programming, but to also show my creativity and mechanic teaching skills in level design. To program my obstacles, I made a C++ class called Moving Platform. I'll go ahead and open that up and show you my code. Okay, so here's my header file from my Moving Platform C++ class. If we scroll down to my private section, you can see I made a few U properties that I use to program my obstacles movements and rotations for my C++ file. I made an F vector called movePlatVelocity, which is equal to 100 units on the x-axis. This is my obstacle / platform speed. And I also made a float called moveDist, which is the maximum distance my obstacles can move by. And I have an F rotator for my rotating platforms called RotaPlatVelocity, which is the speed that my rotating platforms spin by. Right here, I have it set to 200 units on the y-axis. These are all just my default values that I changed later when I was designing my level. And I have another F vector called startPause to get my obstacle or platform actor's location before it starts moving. I then declared two voids that I used to control my movement and rotation of my platforms, and then passed in float delta time for smooth frame independent movement for both types of movement. My bool, should platform return, controls whether or not the platform should move in the opposite direction, and float getDist moved is for declaring that my platform's current movement exceeded my platform's max move distance. I made this bool and float const, so they can't be changed because the return statement inside both of them doesn't have to be edited. You can see right here that there's just a single return line here for both of them. So now let's get into my C++ file. So here's my C++ file for moving platform. On begin play, I get my actor's location at my start position vector. And I also put in some UE logs just for testing purposes to track the move distance and rotations for my platforms and obstacles. Here's my rotating UE log. So for tick, I passed in my move platform and rotate platform voids with delta time in them for smooth frame and independent movement, like I mentioned earlier. And inside my move platform void, I wrote that if should platform return is true, I normalize the direction of my platform movement by creating a new F vector that adds a getSafe normal to my move platform velocity vector. I then add my normalized vector multiplied by move distance to start position to make my platform move to a new target location. Then I set my actor's location to start position, and I set move platform velocity to be negative so it moves back the way it came. Here's my else statement. So if my platform hasn't reached its maximum distance in a given direction yet, then it'll just keep moving in that direction until it does. I get the current location of my platform with my new F vector. That gets my actor's location. And then I add the platform's velocity to that vector, multiplied by delta time, and set the platform's location to that new vector. Yeah, I usually write comments for the most important parts of my code, so if you read through it, you'll understand my process. Pretty easy there. And to rotate my rotating platform, I just wrote add actor local rotation with platform velocity, rotate platform velocity times delta time, pass into the bracket so my circular platforms can rotate smoothly. Coming back to my should platform return bool and get distance moved float. Should platform return is true when get distance moved is greater than my maximum move distance. And get distance moved returns the distance between the platform's start position and its current position. It says get actor location here because I made my F vector current position equal to get actor location under my else statement in my void move platform. So when my platform is moving forward, get distance moved is constantly measuring the distance from start pause and current location, and every time get distance moved is greater than move distance, the platform goes the other way, and get distance moved tracks the distance between start pause and current position again. It's like an endless loop of my platform going back and forth, back and forth. So that's all I have for my code. Now you get to see my game in action. Okay, so coming back to my level, I have it split into 3 sections with a little very difficult bonus section here, which is like a final culmination of all the mechanics learned by the player in this level. Phase 1, this is the teaching section where the player is just introduced to these mechanics and has to try to, figure them out. And then next phase is the testing phase where the player gets a bit of a harder challenge. And the challenge phase is where the player is given like a really hard test to see if they can really master the mechanics. So I'm going to go ahead and play and show you how things work here. You got these sliding cubes, you just got to try to run past them at the right time. And then you have these rising pillars. You got to time your jumps carefully. The trick here with these platforms is that you got to try to jump on them as they're going down, because one's taller than the other, like going forward, and if you try jumping on them while they're going up, then you're very likely to miss them. You'll just face plant right into the wall. So, yeah. And then you have these rotating platforms, discs. Getting a little dizzy just walking on them. You got to try to walk in the right direction, make sure that you don't like spin off the edge. And now here's a harder part with the cubes. You got to time your run very carefully on the right sides. Oh, come on. You also have these cubes going up and down. Try not to get crushed by those. And you have this longer block wall that you got to try to run past. Come on, come on. Just made it. And now we have a harder part with the pillars. You got to try to jump on them at the right timing and in the right order so you can make it to the stationary pillars right there. Yeah, I made these pillars move at different speeds, so you got to try to jump on them in the right order and at the right time. Like, you can't jump on this one because it starts at a different time and it goes at a different speed. So you got to try to jump on this one because it's closer to that height. Got to jump on here. I got to try to make this jump. Then I got to jump on here. Got to be careful right here. Now we're at a more difficult part with the rotating platforms. They spin in all sorts of different directions, and they also spin a little faster than the last ones. Got to jump on this rotating pillar to make it over to the next part. And that's where things really get tricky. You got these moving cubes that slide through one another. They kind of like weave. Oh, okay, gotta get through here. Oh. Wait a second, I can't see where I... Well, I got pushed off. I'm going to go ahead and retry this. Actually, I think I'll just start from a different part of the level. I'll just play from here. Here we go. That'll save me a lot of time trying to get through all those other obstacles again. Gotta time your runs carefully. Going in the right direction too. And you also have this other block wall trying to push you back into those ones, which is why it's harder and a bit more intimidating. And now you gotta try to time your jumps over these cubes. This is like something out of a Mario level. Gotta jump on here. I'm almost there. And we're back to these rotating platforms. Made this a lot harder. But as long as you time your jumps okay, you can just easily just run past it. Get past it. Okay. You really gotta be careful on these pillars, because they kind of shift up and down at certain levels. Gotta time it carefully. Oh, there we go. Totally missed that one. I'll just start again from that spot. I'll play from here. Jump on. Wait for this to get in line. Make it to the next pillar, and the next. Now here's the hardest part of the level, the little micro challenge. Gotta run past this block. And let me try that again. Play from here. I'm going. Just made it. Just squeaked past. So anyway, you get the idea of how I design my level. I have it start off easy, then it gets harder, then even more harder, and then dips down a little bit so you can get rest in certain points just to, keep the difficulty curve balanced. Yeah, so this one just spins rapidly. This one goes all the way up here and then down. And once you clear that, you finally reach the end, where the temple is. And that's it for my level. Thanks for watching.